Today, I want to discuss the 8 words of power that the internet was so kind to give us that I think might be able to give us the keys to reduce our amount of scrolling on our phones. It's going to be a quick internet history lesson as well, too. So, the internet comes up with a bunch of slang terms, and it does so because the internet is a relatively new thing, and we don't have the words in our language to describe some of the things that we say and do and experience on the internet. And so human beings are constantly using language in different ways and evolving our use of language and creating new words and phrases. These will all be familiar words, but they're used in a different way. And so I say 8 words. Each of them is 2 words. Each phrase is 2 words. And they're each going to give you possibly a mantra. And a mantra, you've probably heard this word before. I'm going to define it for you. A mantra for me is just a vocal trigger. It's just something you say that can trigger you to do something. And the more you use it and then successfully do the thing, the more it becomes the trigger for that habit. So that's what I say. It's a mantra to establish a specific habit and keep you into it. And we're trying to talk about internet slang that might be useful for these mantras. So the first one comes from way back when I used to play video games online all the time. And it's called a monitor tan. And a monitor tan is exactly what you think of. Before smartphones, people used computers that had monitors. Surprise, surprise. And these monitors were pretty big, and they shone light at you. They weren't like a modern monitor even. Shone a lot more light at you. And we used to joke that, hey, that person has a monitor tan, meaning they're spending too much time on their computer. And it's just a funny image of, oh yeah, you're spending so much time on your computer that you're getting a tan from your screen, which of course is not possible, but that was kind of the deal. And it's a kind of reminder of maybe go outside and get a real tan instead of a monitor tan. And the second one is an evolution of that, a little more recent, and it's touch grass. Touch grass being just kind of the same sort of signal of maybe it's time to go outside. There's no grass on your phone. There's no grass on your computer. You can't touch it. You can look at pictures of it, but you can't really experience nature unless you get off your device. And so this is the same sort of deal. It's just an evolution of a monitor tan. It's just go touch grass. The third one gets a little more serious, and maybe this is a newer term, but maybe it's more indicative of the behaviors that are actually happening to us. And that is being terminally online. So terminal, that's different than a tan. That's different than touching grass. That's like, this is really bad behavior. And if you keep this behavior up, it's going to be terminal. It's going to kill you. And obviously that's not really the case, but it goes to show that some of our habits in the modern era are a lot worse than they were back in the days of computers pre-smartphone, where you'd be prompted to get it. You're being told you're getting a tan from your computer or go out and touch grass. Terminally online, says it all. You're online so much that it's doing you real harm. And the fourth mantra is goblin mode. Goblin mode is, everyone's probably familiar with a goblin, but a goblin mode is just a reflection of rejecting societal norms and indulging in your kind of base instincts. So if you were in goblin mode on your phone, society at large, kind of what you're supposed to do is not be on your phone. But if you were in goblin mode, that meant maybe you're just scrolling. You're just indulging like crazy. You're not listening to what you're supposed to do. You're just engaging in what you want to do. And that applies to more than just screens. It can be eating junk food. It could be watching Netflix all night and binging a show. Anything can be classified as goblin mode. It's all about an overindulgence. And so this evolution of internet slang also can be tools that you can use to kind of humorously remind yourself it might be time to take a break from your devices. So whether it's telling yourself, hey, let's go get a real tan instead of the monitor tan, maybe it's time to touch grass, I'm being terminally online, or enough goblin mode for one day. These can be triggers that gets you to put the phone down rather than a trigger to get you to pick the phone up. Because we all have tons of triggers to pick the phone up, but we don't have a lot of triggers to put the phone down. And I don't use any of these specifically, but I have mantras in other areas of my life that I'm actively working on. And for example, I'm trying to get up on time. I'm very careful by not saying get up early. So I'm trying to get up on time. That's not the trigger, but there's more power to words than just these triggers, these mantras. My mantra right now is think in front of the page. It's just a reflection that I want to write in the morning. And the only way I can write is if I'm out of the bed. So instead of laying in bed and just thinking, because again, I don't have my phone in my bedroom anymore, let's do your thinking in front of the page. And that has really been successful for me to get up, get out of the bed. I try to say that right before I get up, even if I've spent a lot of time in bed, just to kind of reinforce that I can use this mantra maybe another day when I really do want to get up early. And I use it to a lot of success too. There's been days this week where I've said, it's time to think in front of the page, and I wasn't in bed for more than a couple minutes before I used the mantra and got up. And the more you use it, the more power you give it. So if you're looking for a mantra, a trigger to put your phone down, maybe consider some internet slang. It's always good to have a sense of humor when it comes to habit change. And so consider, what do you like best? Do you like monitor tan, touch grass, terminally online, or goblin mode? And which one do you think you're going to use? If you know of any other internet slang that's similar to this, I'd love to hear it. I'm always fascinated by what the kids are coming up with these days. So I'm sure I'm like way behind the times. If this resonated with you, I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel. It's a great signal for me as a new creator. If you know of anyone in your life that's dealing with scrolling on their phone or any sort of habit change, let them know I'm here and I'm committed to helping them. And until next time, I appreciate you. Bye.